Well, Ava Lily has dance tonight. We're going to go back to the barn and check on the horses and drop Ava off
Hi, everyone.
drop Ava off at dance.
Hi, can you tell me I have sanitizer?
No, that's not normal. Just a great day. You know, I felt so good today. I had just a little mini nap this afternoon. Just a little mini nap this afternoon. It was, what's that face for? That's what my body does before we go to Harrisburg every year. It's like a bear. I hibernate. I kind of hibernate for a week just to get ready for that last.
Can you turn these lights on?
No, I can't turn these whites on. Maybe turn that one on for you. There you go. Just to get ready for Harrisburg. No, it was a fabulous day at the barn. I was so happy to get that done for you guys. You know, it was bugging me for the last week. I had clients saying, you know, the couple of videos of the horses are nice, but when do you think we'll be able to see them? And I didn't have an answer for anybody. So it was great. I finally just decided on the weekend that I wanted to do it. I asked Curtis, and between Curtis and Steve here, they got it done, and I was just really appreciative of the effort of everybody to get it done today. Of course, Amy and all the caretakers, all the trainers, everybody on the track. That's a lot, right? You got to remember, that was the first time these horses were ever in a group setting, and it was just so cool to watch unfold. And
When do you have this set?
we went with all the babies in groups today. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So I'd sent a message out to Kelly. They're in the final stages of putting together a little ceremony for Sintra at Mohawk, where we will be giving Sintra back to the Minari family for him to live out his years and be happy as he deserves. But in this all going on with Sintra, it kind of overshadowed what we had originally had going on, which was poor Brave World, right? We ended up getting Brave World back from a pretty compromised position in his life, and nursing him back. He looks like $1 million now. Cindy's got him shiny. He's put all the weight back on that I remember he used to have. But unfortunately, his left front ankle, much like Sintra's left hind ankle, is going to prevent him from racing again. So we're going to be actively looking. I know there's probably a lot of people out here watching this video. We're going to be actively looking for a forever home, I guess, for Brave World, because he was a good horse for us too, right? We talk about what Sintra did for us. You know, Brave World was a very nice horse for us too, and it certainly didn't do us any harm. And when I had the opportunity to rescue him and bring him back to our barn, I certainly didn't hesitate. So two great stories, one kind of overshadowing the other one. But I did want to reach out to everybody, all our clients, and say, you know, if you were looking for a pasture horse, just a horse to have, probably one of the nicest horses you're ever going to come across, Brave World is looking for a home, and I thought in our house would be the best place to start. So that was a video I wanted to bring you guys tonight. Obviously, we're not racing any horses, not a lot going on. I'm still absorbing everything that I was watching today. I'm going over the videos. Amy and I were going over the videos to watch all our horses too, and how they were going, how they looked. Were there any? The one thing I heard from everybody was there was no concerns, none. A couple of horses people thought, you know, not paying attention and being a little ornery, maybe a horse that might be a castration candidate. But again, that's a little early. But we have castrated some horses already. A couple of people asking where I'm a Trucker was. He was castrated last week. Now we do have, as I said, about what?
How do they know Dad has a trailer?
Yeah, it's okay. So I told you guys last week in a video the other day that Dr. Mike was going through, Dr. Latessa was going through. Dr. Mike, that's what he calls him, Dr. Mike. Dr. Latessa was going through the barn with the vet techs, and just slowly but surely getting through every horse, x-raying them. And we do have a couple of horses that OCDs were found, but a couple of them were in areas that weren't really a big deal. So I want to go over, I guess I'm going to wait till they're all done, and then go over all the horses with Dr. Latessa. Dr. Brown would be the one taking OCDs out. Dr. Mike. Dr. Brown would be the one taking the OCDs out. So go over all the horses. Here's a list of 8 horses that may or may not have and that's a theoretical list, a list of whatever horses that may or may not have some issues, whether it be castrations or we had just had Rose Run AJ castrated because he was a ridgeling. So things like that. What areas do we need to address as we go into the fall? I know it goes without saying sometimes, but we're constantly trying to evolve and say, okay, this is what I didn't like about last year. We need to nip that in the bud right now. And whether that means, I know I've had a couple of good conversations with people about just the overall nutrition of the horses. I'd like to see our horses a little bit fatter throughout the winter time. So how do we do that without putting them in a position where they might be compromised? The last thing you want to do is try and train down fat horses, but you don't want them skinny either. You want to have just a little bit of weight on them as you start to train them down, and that means constant supervision. Did this horse lose any weight? Is this horse, if there's horses putting on weight that are putting in a lot of work, maybe they're being overfed. So again, you have to change how they're being fed, or the amount of hay that they're getting, or whatnot. So I'm always trying to evolve and change the way that we do things in that regard. So we have a number of plans put forward for a number of horses that we're watching very closely here. And that's, again, the beauty of being close. And it's not that we weren't in Ontario, but we're very close to everything right here at Northfield. So I get a very good look. Told you, I love the wide shed rows that they have here too. You can walk the horses around. Everybody, remember I said that to you today? That's the one thing I do like, is the fact that there's no here. Oh, right. There's no claustrophobia in the barn. There's lots of room in the shed rows, which means the horses get to interact a little bit more in Ohio than they would have in Ontario, and I like that also. So just a number of things we're trying to now. It's hard. You guys have to understand. For me personally, and this is just an Anthony thing, transitioning from the right here. Just stop right here. Okay, Ave, jump out, honey. Where you go?
8 o'clock, right? Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Transitioning from
Hi, everyone.
it's not in a video, honey. Transitioning from training the babies down and then qualifying them and being in driver mode, right? Being in manager mode and working with everybody in that regard, whether it be all our trainers or affiliate trainers or the drivers that we use, or having discussions with Scott or Mark or James or anybody that drives their horses about our Addie, or anybody that drives their horses, to try and figure out how can we make things better? Where do these horses belong? Where should they be? You saw us move horses around to Kentucky last year. We'll do that again in the year coming up. Just stuff like that. I'm always trying to get a fresh perspective and keep my head in the game. And then that slow transition in the fall where stake races are winding down, Ohio comes, then Kentucky comes, and now you're focused on trying to pay for everything in Kentucky, focused on the Ontario sale that's coming up, or any of the other sales, but you're really off in the distance, kind of keeping an eye on Harrisburg, and then Harrisburg is upon us, and then it's all over. And now you have to completely change everything you're doing. Now you're going from trying to evaluate and reevaluate, stay on top of everything, stay in the game, go here to drive, go here there to drive, to being here. Now we focus on the babies of 2024, and at the same time, at the exact same time, focusing on acquiring racehorses, moving racehorses out, bringing new horses in. Where do they fit? Where do we have availabilities in the condition sheets at the racetracks that we race at? These are the things, and that sharp turn right after Harrisburg is what's about to happen, and that's what I'm kind of bracing for right now, is that change. So that's where we're at right now in my schedule and your schedule. As I said, just such an uplifting day. The weather was so nice because it was supposed to be so cold. That was a component that really was kind of making me concerned about doing the video today. This was the first day there was going to be frost on the ground. You saw the spatula that Amy needed to fix her car this morning.
Can we go buy a thing?
Yeah, no, they sell them everywhere. Every place sells them. You don't have to wait till you use the spatula 2 or 3 times to decide that now is the time to get a snow brush. I know where there's 2 in my car. So many of you might see I'm driving Amy's car. My car is in the shop.
Did they call you?
No, they didn't. I was just thinking about that when I said it. It needs some significant veterinarian work, I believe. There might be something wrong with the engine. I don't know. And as I said to Amy, I do take pretty good care of my car. It always gets the best oil, the best gas. It gets everything done at the right time. So I am a little disappointed if that's what happened. But It's cars. They'll fix it up and we'll be back on the road in no time. But for now, it's just full-on spatula use. There's 2 in the garage at home in Ontario.
Oh, there's a ton of them.
Yeah. So, and there's 2 in my car, my trunk, I think. I can tell you where there's none.
This car.
Right here in this car. Anyway, that's what went on today. That's what is going on. We'll be reaching out to people as we try to shore up the loose ends between reality, financially, and Lexington. And we'll get that done over the next week or so. And then as I head into Harrisburg, I appreciate all the feedback. And it appears the majority of the feedback was quite clear from everybody. The issue that people had were the amount of horses in the buckets. That was a real key problem with everyone. It wasn't the buckets. It was not even the money in most cases. What are you doing, Addie? Don't open that. Yes, she did, because that back light went on. Don't touch the handle. The problem was the amount of horses and the shares being forced to carry in those buckets. So I guess what we'll do is 2 things. I'm going to send an email out to the provider, Eric, our site provider tonight, and Kelly and Wendy. I'm going to send another email out specifically to Wendy asking if we can get that yearling hub back up where we can maybe get people to email me or put it on the hub. I would like to put in, $5,000 or $500 or $500,000 if you want. And where we can best allocate that. And maybe when we go into Harrisburg, we'll have equal buckets across the board. We'll have that, and I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good idea who at least 1 or 2 of, if we buy a premium horse in Harrisburg, who it will be. I saw his video last night and got a real good look at his pedigree. So I have a short list already of that premium horse that we'll be after in Harrisburg. When it comes to the other buckets, I'm just going to put smaller buckets together. And I apologize. Maybe that was, I don't feel it was laziness on my part, but I just thought that it was a better way to go about it. So rather than having 2 or 3 buckets, maybe we'll have 6 buckets. And then everybody can get involved. A smaller one, a number of medium ones, and that premium horse. We don't have to do a lot of damage. I did the math today. We have 45 yearlings. I do think that we're lacking in Pennsylvania breds, and we're going to a sale in Pennsylvania, so good news. And there are some smaller areas. I would like, if we could, to get a Kentucky eligible colt, if we could. Not a whole lot of them in the sale, by the way. I looked, not a ton, just the Kentucky ones. Then we still have an Ontario Pacing colt that we're after, and I do have an outlet for one of those, but no, I don't. No, I want to look at one of those. I found a couple last night that looked actually pretty interesting. And then another Ontario trotting filly would be fine by me also. We're good for Ohio. I guess it goes without saying we have no Indiana breds for next year just yet. Didn't get anything in Indiana at all. Nothing. So, but it goes, it's not like I had a ton of Indiana clients saying, Anthony, but what about Indiana?
Yeah.
Not one email from anybody. So, I just think that, this is, as I said before, over and over again, this is going to be kind of a shopping cart sale for us. It is every year anyway, but I already have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do. So great job today by the staff and Curtis and Steve and everybody. Great job.